Good afternoon, my name's Justin. Welcome to my channel. I've got a song here. I was sent this to play electric guitar on. Today's video is going to be for my OG subscribers. I used to basically only film myself recording on songs that were sent to me for my normal job, which is playing guitar on songs. So this is for all the OG subscribers. I started doing this, I looked and I started posting videos in like 2020. That feels forever ago, but it also feels like last summer, you know? Ever since 2020, I feel like my entire sense of time is completely jumbled, and I don't have any concept of what was long ago and what was recent. For a couple years, the only thing I did was post videos. I didn't tell anybody about it, I didn't promote it or anything. It was just something I was doing. My friend Brat Papa encouraged me to do this, and basically I just posted myself overdubbing and talking about why I'm making the choices that I'm making with the guitars and the parts that I'm playing, and I called it the Overdub Sessions. There's a lot of them on my channel if you haven't watched them. I understand that's a fairly niche thing in the YouTube world. Like, I'm not going to grow the channel just posting those. I'm really sorry. But I am going to post them every once in a while because I really enjoy it, and they're my favorite kind of videos to do, actually. So today I've got a song from Texas. Almost the entire song is 1-4, just back and forth. And we're in the key of F sharp, so that means it's F sharp to B, back and forth. The bridge is a little different. The end of the chorus is a little different too. But basically I'm tuned down a half step, and I'm playing like I'm in G, and that's actually an F sharp chord. So, I've got a couple simple guitar tracks on this song already. I've got a telly raking diamonds sort of in the bigger sections, and I've got a baritone as well. The idea is that those will be tucked back and sort of adding weight, and then this is going to be the first like melodic pass that I play. You'll hear in the intro that there is a piano hook already. There's also a lot of space around it, both in front of it and behind it. And because the piano hook does, it does something like this. It goes. Because it does that, it kind of reminds me of the NBC theme, you know, the network, TV network. It's just the same thing, different inversion, right? So instead of like doubling that and making that the thing, I'm going to play a guitar hook in front of it, and then after it as well, and turn it into like this thing that answers in the middle. So you'll hear what I'm talking about. I've got my old 335 here. I'm playing into my Analog Outfitters Sarge, into the Morgan cab. It's the same rig and setup that you hear in all my videos. I don't have any overdrive pedals on or anything, but I do have a little bit of delay from the timeline, and I have a little reverb from the Boss FRV63 spring. I don't know, it's the Boss Fender spring reverb pedal. The one that we all used to think was terrible. And then we realized, hey, if you turn the knobs down, it actually sounds really good. So here we go from the top. And you'll hear what I mean. I'm going to play a hook before and after that piano thing. And it's going to hopefully take away from the weight of the piano part and the similarity to the network TV jingle. So here we go. Cool. So you could hear in the intro, I was going 3, 4. And the piano lick. And then I kind of echo the piano lick a little bit, not quite. Just enough to try to steer it away from the, oh man, that sounds like the NBC chime. So I had some cool stuff in the chorus. Again, I've got the vocal tucked way back. I always talked about this on the Overdub Sessions videos. I'm not trying to give away this person's song before they're ready to release it, right? I'm just trying to show what my part of the process sounds like without stepping on anybody's intellectual property, without having any copyright issues. So I try to disguise the song enough, right, to just sort of get the point across of what I'm trying to show you all about how I think when I lay these parts. And the first thing that came to mind when I heard this was, oh man, that piano. That sounds like network TV, you know? So the idea was to kind of take it away from that, and then just by virtue of the fact that the guitar is now leading the charge in the intro and the turnaround, which is the re-intro after chorus 1 before verse 2, and in the outro, it sort of gives the song a little more muscle too, which, you know, the drums are pretty energetic. When the song's big, it's big, everybody's in, you know. And then it just sort of tightens up and empties out in the verses and in the down chorus. And so this track, I'm just kind of sticking to melodic things, you know. The section where everything changes, where it goes, that's a bridge with quite a bit of lyric. And it's not quite a guitar solo. There's some gaps in the vocal, which again, you can't hear very well, but I will put some sort of lead-ish information in those spots, right? Just something that plays off of the vocal. We're all there to frame it, support it, and make it stand up as best as it can. I'm always going to defer to it. I'm never going to try to play competing melodic information with the vocal. Sometimes I'll play something in the verse that I feel doesn't compete. It just supports it and is in the background. And you probably heard in verse 1 that I was playing this... So the way that would sound with the bass notes going... That's mellow enough and repetitive enough and just sort of it's tucked enough, and I'm playing it softly, you know, that it doesn't pull away from the vocal. It sets the stage for the vocal, right? So those are important distinctions. They're usually pretty subtle distinctions, but they're very important. So the one thing that I want to get back on this pass and do is fix up my first chorus. I feel like I deviated from the pattern and I settled into something later on that I thought was cool, but wasn't quite there yet on the first one, so let's do that. and the other thing I did was play through verse 2. I didn't do that on the tracking pass going all the way down, just because I remembered from taking my other rhythm passes that something else was playing some melodic information in there, and I needed to not be the guy that plays a lick every time the vocalist takes a breath. And it's the B3, and then in the back half, the baritone kind of goes up in a higher register and does some things as well. So let me just make a quick edit here, and I think I'm ready to move on to my next guitar part. Okay, I think my next track's going to be a Strat, and this is just going to be something that I kind of grab some high chimey things in the chorus, and maybe in that bridge section I will play some fills and stuff around, kind of around the vocal. Let's see what happens. Cool. So you may have picked up on this, but I was looking at the waveform in the vocal so that I could play licks around it, because I can't hear it very clearly. I listened to it a bunch and had it up when I was tracking, so I've got an idea of what he's doing, but I just want to really make sure that I'm not jumping on the vocal. I feel like this section of the song, it sounds to me like it's a combination solo, bridge, and turnaround. There's a lot of things happening, and it's weird too. There's one bar of build, and then it feels to me like the phrase resets. We've got that bar, and then it's right into a 2 minor instead of to the 4, right? So it feels like there's almost, the rest of the track doesn't do this, but it almost feels like it's supposed to be a, and that's the start of the phrase. So, with that said, that section has a lot of things going on. I think it's kind of supposed to. So it's the big moment of the song. We have a drastic change in our chord progressions. The vocal is a little more intense there, and it's also got quite a few large gaps in it, you know. So I'm going to hit that spot one more time on this track. I didn't like that. I didn't like it. I'm gonna do it again. Here we go. Cool, much better. So let's get in at the build here. There's a very short build with a big stop. So the interesting thing is the outro's got this extra hit. It's just 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That sort of thing. It's hard to make my hook fit with that, but I'm gonna have to try. So let's punch. Okay, I always let the last note ring to the very end of the track, very end of the tracks that I was sent to play to. That's just a rule of thumb for me. I don't want to play a final chord and then mute it while the entire rest of the thing is ringing out, and then they didn't feel like I gave them a long enough diamond at the end of the song. Just, you know, little things, right? I'm gonna go back to the 335. Let's replay the outro on the 335. I got to catch that hit before the final diamond. Here we go. There we go. I feel like there's one other thing that the song could use. Give it a little country insurance. All right, I'm back. I'm going to give it a little bit of country insurance with the old telly. get in on the chorus. I was really digging everything up till there. I feel like some sort of higher percussive thing is cool, but I don't want to get in the way of the notes that I have going on in the other parts. Or the vocal. So you remember how I said that that bar before this new pattern sounds like it should be a build? Maybe that's what I do on this guitar, and it will help steer the track that way, even though not everybody's doing it. Let's just try it at least. Let's get the last bar there. I missed the push on the final hit. So, country insurance, right? Even if not all the parts I played were like ultra country, it's on a telly. This thing sounds like country music to me, and rock and roll. This is such a great guitar. But you know, just having some of those big I know it all seems more jumbled right now because it's completely unmixed. But I did pan some things around while we were listening to a previous pass just to help myself and y'all hear what's going on. But some of those moves, some of the... Just little things, you know. The song isn't very traditional. There doesn't need to be a bunch of flashy chicken picking type stuff. It's just you know, that texture and that sound throughout the track, I think will help anchor this in Texas. That's my thought anyway. So I'm going to send these tracks off and see what they say, and maybe they'll come back and say, man, could you try something different? Usually that happens when I play something and that gives them an idea to hear something else. We love what you did there. That made us think of this. Can you add this to it? You know, and that's cool. Maybe that'll happen. We'll see. So see you later.